So you like to bash RC cars. Have you ever wondered which one is the top basher? We have the top basher from all of the big brands, and we're gonna find out how they stack up today on Radioactive RC Range.
Where does he get those wonderful toys?
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. We have got a great one today. I have been waiting a while to make this video. What we have here today are, in my opinion, the top bashers from all of the big three brands that we typically buy our RC cars from. So over here, we have the 4S Traxxas Maxx. We have, this is the V1. We have the OG 6S Kaiju, also the V1. And we have the Outcast, the amazing basher from Arrma, also the V1 4S. All right, so what do these guys have in common? Well, I'll tell you something. The best bashers have one thing in common, and that is they have a plastic or a composite flexible chassis that is able to bend and bow with all of the bashing that these RCs take. So that is what we're going to base today's video off of, and these are all pretty much 1/8-ish style RC cars. This is considered a 1/10, this is considered a 1/10, this is considered a 1/8, but as you can see, this actually has a longer wheelbase than the Kaiju. So all right, let's get right into it. If you're new to the hobby, or if you happen to be in the market to buy one of these awesome bashers, this is the video for you guys. We're going to break these down, and I'm going to give you my honest, unbiased opinion, having all of these RC cars and driving them and seeing how they behave, seeing what parts broke. Let's get right into it. All right, as you can see, all of these vehicles are dressed out with T-bone protection, bumper, roll cage. I am a big believer in protecting your RC cars in any way possible. And if they don't offer the kind of protection, just make it. This is actually some old automotive tubing and has worked out really well all throughout the body. So we have the V1 4S Maxx. This thing is basically just a miniature version of the X Maxx. This is the wide kit, but this is the V1, so it doesn't have the extended wheelbase. But this thing is an absolute berserko basher and has taken a heck of a beating over the years. So the reason why a lot of these vehicles look the way they do is because they have the protection that they have. Now, we have made some modifications. We're running the D-boot backflip LPs on this guy. This is just an excellent all-around basher. Actually, the shocks that it came with were kind of inadequate. We actually ended up replacing those with GPM shocks. So this magnificent basher right here is just an all-around great basher, and this one has the advantage with the electronics. You've got a 6S system on here, and it is quite a beast. So this actually has some aftermarket wheels because not because I didn't like the factory ones. These ones just tend not to balloon quite as much. And I like the style that these had. Now, we've gone through and put on the metal shock caps. We have added multiple fans to this one, and we have the sway bars added, and just a few doodads and ends. There's really not too much to this. This is actually pretty close to stock. So, all right. Let's take a look at our Outcast. A lot of protection right there. And we've got the D-boot backflips from the Notorious on here. Factory shocks. It's really pretty factory, other than the T-bone and the protection. So this is going to be a really good comparison of the three of these guys. So let me take off the bodies here, and let's take a closer look at what similarities these have and what are the differences and the advantages. All right, guys, what makes these bashers similar and what sets them apart? First of all, they all have a plastic composite chassis. That is an absolute first. And beyond that, they're all a little bit different, but all different in their own way. This Maxx is running a 14 millimeter hub system. The Kaiju is running a 17 millimeter hub system, and the Outcast is running a 14 millimeter hub system. So just a little bit different. This is 4S, 6S, and 4S. So as you can see there, there is the electronics. There really isn't anything outlandish or anything going on here. We have put on some different tires, shocks, and put on the wide kit, which absolutely added a ton of value and bashability on this guy. But really, it actually just kind of put it with the Outcast and the Kaiju. Otherwise, it would have been just a little bit thinner. So we've got metal shocks on here, but it did not come with the metal shocks. It came with plastic shocks, and that is one of the drawbacks. We've got the Kaiju that came with aluminum shocks. However, it did come with plastic tops, so we had to end up replacing those. Not because anything broke, but we try to fix things before they get to that point, and we just didn't want any problems out of it. And of course, we have upgraded the Arrma Outcast shocks to the 6S shocks, but they did not come like that. So that is one of the drawbacks to the Outcast and the Traxxas Maxx, and one of the advantages to the Kaiju. So what we have is a 25 kg servo in the Kaiju, and we have a it's an odd sized servo that the Traxxas Maxx comes with, but very effective. However, there are a lack of real options out there to replace this servo. So, but it does just fine. The Kaiju with the 25 kg servo, after you replace that plastic servo horn, it is golden. It just needs a little bit of work there. And then this servo is actually a 7 kg that came with, but it actually has the same servo 25 kg that the Kaiju has in it currently. So very weak servo that comes in this particular one, and should be replaced. Another thing that draws these guys different is the Outcast comes with some beefy plastic drive shafts. The Maxx comes with some even beefier plastic drive shafts. However, the Kaiju actually comes with some metal drive shafts, and they are they're pretty substantial down there for the size and the weight of RC that we're dealing with. So as far as the chassis go, they're all a tub style chassis. So they have everything within its area in there, and it's doing a great job of protecting everything. Traxxas, of course, has this unique battery tray that keeps it very well locked down, especially if you're able to put in the pins, the body pins that hold this guy down. Of course, the Kaiju has a basic Velcro system, as well as the Outcast. So that is one good point about the Traxxas Maxx. Now, Traxxas, of course, has their proprietary electronics. You either love them or you hate these plugs and the electronics. This is one of the few RCs that still have, the Traxxas ones that still have the Traxxas electronics, because I just, it's not my favorite electronic system. Let me know in the comments your experiences with the Valenian system. Some people love them, some people hate it. It's just kind of up to you. And that is similar to the Arrma BLX system. This has the 4S BLX system, and it comes with a 2400 kV motor rather. A very fast spinning 4S motor, really great for all around bashing. Now the Kaiju really shines here because it actually comes with a hobby wing system. This has a 2100 kV motor and 150 amp ESC. Really an outstanding combination, and really makes this platform shine with its electronics. And being that it's hobby wing, it's got that history, and it's got the big company backing all of its electronics. So take it for what it's worth. You either love them or hate them, but they are all uniquely different. So you've got the Outcast comes with a wing, and you see it has a wheelie bar underneath there. Of course, the Kaiju comes with a wheelie bar, and this is actually, I don't know if you guys have never had a Kaiju or seen it in person, this is one of the best wheelie bars I have ever seen on an RC product. If you know, you know. I wish all of our RC wheelie bars were that good. And then we move over to the Maxx, which it's hard to see back there, but there is a wheelie bar, and it matches the color of the A-arms there. So all of them have some pretty adequate protection. I have not changed this out to any aftermarket bumper. This is really does a good job for what it is. And this is just, it's an outstanding product. You look down in there, look at that. That's crazy. That is just so much protection that T-Bone offers. And then we've got the Outcast over there. Really has been through a lot. This chassis is pretty thin, guys. For a basher chassis, we have actually been through 2 chassis on this rig. It could use some work. So this basher bar does a really good job, but I can't fault Arrma too much because we absolutely put these cars through mayhem on this channel. So over here, this chassis on the Kaiju is set up very similar, has the same type of shock towers as the Maxx, and the Maxx is really a mini X-Maxx, so that configuration works out really well. These can be kind of vulnerable. I know a lot of people that have broken these off, and some of the cups on this one are, you have to put a bearing on them, but the problems exist with these are in the chassis, are in different areas of the electronics. It just depends. Now, another thing that sets these RCs apart that you would want to know if you were buying them is the Arrma Outcast comes with a slipper clutch and a steel spur gear. The Kaiju comes with a differential and a plastic spur gear. And the Traxxas Maxx comes with a differential direct drive and a steel spur gear. So which one's best? Well, I can tell you that all of them have their weaknesses, all of them have their advantages. It really just depends. I have broken 2 of the slipper clutches in the Outcast. The Kaiju had a problem with its spur gear, and it needed to be replaced to a metal spur gear. Of course, we're going to do it anyway because nothing keeps a plastic spur gear on the channel. And of course, the Traxxas Maxx, the direct drive system puts a lot of strain on those differentials and the motor. So it really just depends on what works for you and what works for your driving style. All of these vehicles are excellent in their own right. Otherwise, they wouldn't be on this channel. We have got a lot of experience with these RCs, and there's really not a whole lot that has been broken on this Maxx. It was a hub and I believe a wheel that got broken on this one, and then we ended up replacing the wheels. As you can see, we got some metal hubs on there, and put the wide kit. Of course, these big suspensions. Wow, you guys wouldn't believe how stiff this suspension is. These GPMs are absolutely monstrous for your Traxxas Maxx. If you guys are ever looking for a big set of springs, the GPM Gold Series does the job. So on this guy, really, there have been few breaks. On some of the newer ones, the extensions and the turnbuckles have been breaking, but they are getting on top of that. Of course, Traxxas, Redcat, and Arrma always listen to us when we start giving them feedback about what's going on. So, all right, guys. Well, this is going to pretty much wrap it up. Which one is the best one? Really, guys, it is up to your driving style and how you're going to bash your RC. As far as the Radioactive RC Ranch is concerned, if I only had one, this is really a tough one, because it's like choosing between your kids. But if I only had one, I think it would be the Redcat Kaiju. I believe it is the all-around best basher and best bang for your buck. At the date and time of this video, the Outcast is $400, the Kaiju is $400, and the Maxx is $560. So it's up to you on what is the best bang for your buck and how you're gonna bash your ride. So all right, guys, until the next one, grip it and rip it, and we will see you Radioheads later. So which one am I riding in?
All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days.